Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my April wrap-up. I haven't done a wrap-up of monthly reading for a while. I normally just do wrap-ups for March Mystery Madness or readathons that I'm participating in. But I'm going to try to go back to doing the monthly type of digest wrap-up because I have started to do a TBR game, and I just think it's easier to share with you my thoughts on the things that I was supposed to read for that TBR game in one video. So I ended up reading 7 things, I think, during the month of April. I read the books that I was supposed to read for my TBR game, which is called Rotating Decks. If you haven't checked out my TBR game video, definitely do so. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it. I'll link the playlist down in the description box below. April was the first time that I ended up playing the game, so it was nice to be able to complete all of the reads that I was supposed to that corresponded with the prompts that I pulled for my game. And so, yeah, let me just get into the things that I read during the month. I'm going to try to stick to the order in which I read them, but no promises. So the first book I ended up finishing in the month of April was Lisa Unger's Confessions on the 745. You can see this is an advanced reader's copy. My mom had ended up bringing it home from work because she thought it sounded interesting, so I just went ahead and read it as well. This one follows a lady who finds out that her husband is cheating on her. And on the way home from work, after discovering this, she kind of confides in a stranger on the train that her husband is cheating on her with their nanny. And soon after that, the nanny disappears. That's all I'm going to say on this one. This is supposed to be a suspense thriller. I will tell you that I did not find it suspenseful or thrilling. I found this to be more of a drama. I do read a lot of mysteries though, so it's possible that the reason that I didn't find this very shocking or surprising or suspenseful or anything like that was because I do read a lot of things like that. So somebody who doesn't read a lot of mystery thrillers will probably think this one is more suspenseful than I did, but I ended up not really enjoying this one. It was just okay. It did take me about 5 months to get through. I started this in November 2020, and I just kept putting it down and forgetting about it. The story didn't grab me at all, but I decided to just go ahead and finish it off. I'm glad I did. I will probably check out more of Lisa Unger's work in the future just to make sure that her writing isn't something that I enjoy, because the premise for this one did sound very interesting. It was one of the few arcs that when my mom brought it home, I immediately said I want to read this and dug in. But it was a bit disappointing for me. So I ended up finishing that one. And then I was approved for an advanced reader's copy of Call of the Night by Kotoyama. This is a manga published by Viz. I was given access to an advanced reader's copy through Edelweiss, so I got an e-arc of this. It was already a title that I had been planning on purchasing, and I actually have a manga first impressions video on this one detailing all of my thoughts on it. So if you're interested in knowing what I thought about this, definitely check out that video. This is a manga about taking a line from the manga itself, a boy and a vampire learning about love. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Definitely check out my video if you'd like to hear my thoughts on it. I'll link it all down in the description box below. So then I dug into the Book One Cozies Club selection for April, which was Midsummer Night's Mischief. This is the first book in the Wiccan Wheel mystery series by Jennifer David Hess. Book One Cozies Club, or the first in a series Cozy Mystery Book Club, is a book club that I run over on Goodreads in the Mystery Madness Goodreads group, or in our new Discord, the March Mystery Madness Discord. All of the links again down in the description box below. I do have not only a series first impressions video on this one, giving you my general unspoilery thoughts on it, but I also have my chapter by chapter reading vlogs on it, which give you my more candid spoilery thoughts as I read through this book. So both of those videos are linked down in the description box below as well, so definitely make sure you check those out if you'd like to know my thoughts on that one. Then I dug into my TBR Game books, the first of which was The Mediator. This is the third book in the Mediator series, which is called Reunion. This is very much like one of my favorite cozy mystery series by Victoria Laurie, which is the Ghost Hunter Mysteries. In this one, we follow Suze, who is this character right here. She is a mediator, so she helps spirits pass over to the next plane or whatever, wherever they go, but she kind of helps them deal with their unfinished business, if you will. And in this one, she is dealing with these 4 high school students here in the background who were killed in a car accident, and they believe that one of the students at Suze's school was responsible for their death. So their spirits are kind of going after this guy at her school, and she's trying to prevent them from doing him any harm while trying to figure out how to help these 4 students pass on. I have read this series. I read the first book in this series a very long time ago. I think it was either shortly after I finished the Ghost Hunter Mystery series or shortly before I finished that series, because the premise to this series sounded so similar. This is very much a YA version of the Ghost Hunters Mystery series, so if you like that type of story, definitely check this one out. I think you'd enjoy it. It's much more YA. It is definitely younger. We're dealing with high school romance and things like that, but I do enjoy this. I do find Meg Cabot's writing to be very easy to get into and to read. I enjoyed all 3 of the books that I've read in this series so far, including this one. I'm looking forward to continuing with it. I think there's only 3 or 4 more books in this series, so I need to make sure not to sleep on this series and continue with it, because I definitely enjoyed this one. I listened to some of it on audio, and I read some of it from my physical copy, and I enjoyed the audio narration as well, so I'm really happy with my thoughts on what I thought of that one and my read through of it. The next book I read for my TBR game was the Book of Life. This is the last book in the All Souls trilogy, the first book being A Discovery of Witches, in case you didn't know. I really enjoyed A Discovery of Witches. I recently watched the first season of the TV show as well and really enjoyed it, which sparked my interest in getting back into this series and finally finishing it up, which is why this book ended up on my TBR for April. I did start this book in February, but I was like 100 pages in or so, and I put it down because of March Mystery Madness, but I can't really tell you what this one's about because it's the last book in the trilogy, but like I said, I really enjoyed A Discovery of Witches. I didn't so much enjoy the second book in the series, which is Shadow of Night, and I can't really tell you why without giving spoilers, but I'll tell you that I didn't enjoy it too much. This one started off very promising. It got back to the things that I really enjoyed about A Discovery of Witches, but it dragged for me. There was a lot of stuff in this story that I personally wasn't interested in, and I think because it's been so long since I visited this series last, it's been 9 years. It's been 9 years since I read Shadow of Night, and a large part of that is because I disliked Shadow of Night so much that I really had no interest in getting back into this series. But there were just things that came up that I didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy some of the dynamics between our main couple. Things like that started to bother me, whereas where I read the first book in this series, it didn't bother me so much. So maybe I just don't remember, or just because it's been that long and I've aged that much, that my thoughts on it changed. But the parts I did enjoy of this story, I enjoyed a lot. I'm glad that we finally got some closure as to a few things. There are still things that I have questions about. There is also still one more book in this series. It's not part of the All Souls trilogy, but it's like a companion novel that focuses more on a couple of the other characters that we find in this series. So I will probably pick that one up sometime in the future, because I do think we get glimpses of our main characters from this trilogy in that book. But this one was just okay for me. I'm glad to have finished another series, and I'm glad to have gotten through this chunker. It's been a while since I've read a thick book. But that was also for my TBR game. And the last thing I pulled for my TBR game were these 3 volumes of manga. So I read volumes 1, 2, and 3 of The Wallflower by Tomoko Hayakawa. This is a series that I have some history with. I have watched the Japanese live-action drama adaptation of it. That's how I got introduced to this story. I really enjoyed that. I've watched some of the anime adaptation of this manga. Enjoyed what I watched of that as well. And I've also read this first volume in the past. So this story follows 4 popular guys that go to this like private school, I guess. And they are offered free room and board at this mansion by the mansion owner, who says, I will allow you to stay at my mansion rent free if you can turn my niece into a lady. And these 4 guys are, like I said, the most popular guys at the school. They're thinking, this isn't going to be a problem. It's going to be a piece of cake. Well, then they meet her. She kind of looks like the spirit from The Ring, if you're familiar with that horror franchise. She enjoys dark things. She likes slasher films. Her best friend is an anatomical model named Hiroshi-kun. This mission is not going to be as easy as they think it's going to be. And watching these 4 guys kind of struggle with something that they thought was going to be really easy is really hilarious for me. But there are also parts of this where you can kind of see where the end game is going to be for this series. It is a pretty long series. I think it goes up into the 30s or maybe even the 40s. I don't have all of the volumes, which is why I've been hesitant to read this. But I definitely enjoyed what I read in these 3 volumes. Volume 2 includes a story about a rapist, which I didn't really enjoy. I'm not sure that that particular story was handled well at all either, but I'm not going to go into more detail about that because it would be spoilery. But yeah, I'm very entertained by what I read in this one. I'm looking forward to continuing. And like I said, I do have history with it, so I kind of know where it's going to go. And I think as a new reader, you would probably also be able to tell where the story's going to go, because it is quite obvious. But I definitely enjoyed these 3 volumes. So that pretty much sums up everything that I read for the month of April. I think my new TBR game is definitely helping me out because I didn't struggle with picking things to read during the month, which meant that I was constantly reading, which is a good thing. A lot of why I created that TBR game was because I was having lulls in my reading because I didn't know what to read. I didn't know what I wanted to read. I didn't know what I felt like reading. And so the TBR game is really helping me out. I was able to finish all of this in the month of April, plus the Book One Cozies Club selection. So let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of it, or if any of these books sound interesting to you at all. Definitely let me know that down in the comments as well. If you're interested to see what's on my plate for May, definitely check out my Rotating Decks TBR game for May. I'll link that down in the description box as well. Or if you could leave me the word purple or a purple emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. I say purple because a lot of the things I read in the month of April had purple on it. So that's why I chose purple. So that will do it for me today. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!